Alright, looks like I'm live. I'm live. What up, what up, what up? Whoo! What's up? It is T-Bait Day today. T-Bait today. Man, how should I start this though? Last chapter ended off. We got like some visions from Sylvie. And we seen, some attack, man. It was some attack by the Wraiths. They took out, I guess, one of the other leaders of the dragons in Ediston. You got Kathleen, who might be dead from it. You got Curtis, who for sure was killed from it. But man, it's crazy how it actually ended off last chapter, because it's just like, okay, so is this happening now? Is this happening in the very near future, which is what I think? Is it happening in a couple of days where he has some time to prepare? I'm pretty much just wondering how much time Arthur's going to have to prepare for what is to come. And somebody also left a comment too, and I completely agree with this, right? So we know that Sylvie, okay, so let me go through the timeline, right? So we know that Kezis has his ether aptitude is for Avum, which is time. We know that his wife, Meyer, she has aptitude towards Vivum, which is, control over life. And then you have Sylvie's mom, Sylvia, which has aptitude over spatial, right? So, with Sylvia having aptitude over Avum, and she's like new to her aptitude, right? She hasn't had it for thousands of years or anything like that. She's new, so she's still learning. She's talking about how she doesn't really feel like it's hers and whatnot, so she's still kind of adjusting to Avum being her aptitude for ether. Kezis has to be able to do the exact same thing that she's like doing without having full control. He has to be able to see the future. And I'm glad that somebody had made a comment about it, because it makes so much sense, because it's just like, with everything that Kezis has done. But then again, to what extent though? You know what I'm saying? Like, to what extent does he actually can see the future? Because we know that Renia can see the future, but it was limited, right? She only can see like limited amounts of futures, as far as like different timelines and certain things that might happen, and some of the consequences of those things happening. Like, how much of the future can Kezis actually see? Is it just going to be glimpses, like how we see with Sylvie, or is it more extended, as far as like he's able to see, oh yeah, Tessia's gonna be, her body's gonna be taken over, and Cecilia's gonna inhabit the body. Did he already see Agrona, betraying the people, or not really betraying actually, because he was gonna do the right thing by, letting it be known that he's responsible for the Jinn being killed. But like, he already know that he was gonna think about Aldir, right? It was like Kezis wasn't surprised about Aldir's betrayal, and it was like he was already expecting it, and he wanted Aldir to like redeem himself, right? So that's why he sent him on that mission to kill the Lances, right? And then he was trying to see, like, okay, is he really gonna follow through with this? Is he gonna do it? He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He actually told them where the sanctuary was, to give them a chance to be able to, fight Tacy and give Arthur the time that he needed to get there to save everybody, right? So even that whole sequence was like, Kezis kind of like already knew Aldir was gonna betray him and like sent them on this test or some shit. I'm just like, so that kind of makes a lot of sense to me now. That kind of makes a lot of sense. So I'm kind of thinking that for sure Kezis is able to see the future, right? To what extent, I don't really know for sure, but he definitely can see, because that Aldir situation just makes a lot more sense, right? But yeah, so with this chapter, I'm wondering where we go. Like, is Arthur going to like completely just run and just try to get there as fast as he can, try to help out, but he hasn't recovered. He hasn't recovered from losing all of his ether. So it's just kind of like, how much is he going to be able to do? And then he got the whole scar thing, and it's just like, like what exactly? I don't know, but it's definitely throwing a wrench to their plans, though. It's definitely throwing a wrench into like, oh, let's sit back and let's recover. Like, ain't no recovery right now. Now we about to just jump right into, man, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. Now I'm starting to think, like, does Agrona have some sort of ability to see the future? Maybe he got some relic and he can slightly see into the future of some things, because Agrona's plans be like super, because I think Sarah's talked about how he plans in thousands of years, and he doesn't plan in like, a year or two or weeks or something like that. He's looking way far ahead. So maybe Agrona has some sort of future seeing ability or something like that. I don't know. It makes me think about a lot of stuff. But yeah, so let's see kind of what happens in this chapter. I'm wondering where we go, how things are going to turn out. I mean, things are kind of going smooth for T-Bait right now. I'll say it's going kind of smooth. We're getting some new, reveals with this fourth party who might be involved, who, killed one of the sovereigns and stuff, and then we got Agrona and his schemes, and he's talking, his manipulation with Cecilia, and how, oh yeah, you and Arthur, you need each other, and this is all part of my grand plan. There's all this other bullshit. So you got that going on. You got Sarah. She's going to the Elenwar wasteland. So what part is she gonna play? So yeah. So we're kind of seeing what happens. But I'm curious to see like how the dragons are gonna like react to this. Like if he gets there and he like intercepts them from being able to fight the dragons, right? So say Arthur gets there. And he gets there like while the fight is happening, or like he gets there like right before it's about to happen. Like, is he gonna be on the side of the dragons? Like, is the dragon gonna be fighting with Arthur, or is he gonna try to come in and try to have some sort of dialogue, conversation type of thing, or is it gonna be like a negotiation or something, or like, or is he gonna be fighting with the dragons, and the dragons gonna see this as an opportunity to get rid of him or something? But then again, could they really do that? With the deal he had made with Kezis, so maybe they wouldn't do something like that. But I mean, we can go different ways. But he's gonna be limited though, because he doesn't have his full ether. So it's only gonna be so much he can do. Regis has full amount of ether, so maybe Regis can jump inside his body and give him some of his ether, and then that can kind of like replenish what he had before. So maybe that's one thing that can happen, right? So we'll see what happens. But let's get started though. Hopefully I'm coming in pretty clear, because I know that my data is not the best. No, I got 4 bars, so I should be good. Let me know if I'm coming in clear or not. All right, if I'm coming in choppy or something like that, let me know. Because if I'm coming in choppy, what I could do, I could just end the stream and then like restart it if it's like really choppy or something. So let's go to, all right, 447, Ripple and Timeline. 10 minutes ago. So we're going to the, so wait. See, I like theorizing. So like maybe we're going towards like maybe Agrona talking to the Wraiths and letting them know what he wants them to do 10 minutes ago. I don't know. Rolling onto my side, I push myself up gingerly. The small crowd moving back to give me space. As I held up my hand to Sylvie. Wait, 10 minutes ago. Rolling onto my side, I push myself up gingerly, the small crowd moving back to give me space. The small crowd. I guess the small crowd might be some of the Alacrians that might be surrounding him, I guess. As I held up my hand to Sylvie to help her up after me, a bolt of pain through my skull made me stumble, and an arm wrapped around me. I looked down as Ellie leaned onto me, trying to support some of my weight. Sylvie seemed less distracted or less affected by the vision and had no problem rising. She looked me over nervously. I'm sorry, Arthur. I couldn't hold it back from your mind. Hold what back? Ellie asked. What happened? I blinked and shook my head, making an effort to dislodge the last of the aching cobwebs the vision had left in my head. Nothing. Not here. I cut myself off, acknowledging the crowd that had gathered and not wanting to say anything that could become a problem later. Okay. Sylvie's approaching aura was enough to pull most of the attention away from me. Her dark eyes met mine, and she seemed to read the situation in an instant. There's much to do. Allow our companions a moment to catch their breaths. Remember, Lance Arthur Lewin has faced the legacy herself on our behalf. Mind that you don't inadvertently start unhelpful rumors, yes? So this must be Sylvie saying this, right? Okay. There's much to do. Allow our companions... Or is that Ceres? Oh, that's Ceres. That's Ceres saying that. Okay. Ceres is approaching aura. Did I say Sylvie? I might have said Sylvie. Ceres is approaching aura was enough to pull most of the attention away from me. Okay. And she said, there's much to do. Allow our companions the moment to catch their breaths. Remember, Lance Arthur Lewin has faced the legacy herself on our behalf. Mind that you don't inadvertently start unhelpful rumors, yes? Okay, so this is cool. Ceres is being helpful. Ceres is definitely being helpful. Let me see. Okay. Think I'm good. All right. So Sarah says that. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, what if I was just reading? Where did I just go? Okay. The people who had been near enough to see my episode, which unfortunately was a lot, shrank back at Ceres' thinly veiled ire. A cascade of flames, red hair was the first I saw of Lyra Dryde. I forget she has red hair. Lyra Dryde as she hurried through the crowd. Go on then, all of you. There's much work to be done and no room for idle hands. The Alacrians broke up and began milling away, although there was no shortage of backward glances. What's going on? Lyra asked, leaning in towards Ceres, who was watching me from the corner of her eye, her lips pressed tight with obvious worry. Why is everybody so worried? Like, did this motherfucker, like, collapse and just, like, was he, like, in this, like, vision for a long time? And, like, everybody was like, oh, my God, what the fuck is going on with Arthur? You know, like, everybody's, like, shook up from him going into this vision and dropping down to the floor and shit. It's crazy how everybody's reacting like that. Let's have this conversation somewhere more private, Sarah said, her words quiet but firm. I nodded my agreement, and Lyra led our group to a nearby empty building that turned out to be little more than a single room. My reading is messing up today, man. It really depends on the day. Sometimes my reading is really good. Others, like today, I'm skipping words and shit. Turned out to be little more than a single open room with several roughly made wooden chairs filling the space. No one sat as we all shuffled in. Every pair of eyes turned to me, including High Lord Frost and Denoir, who must have been speaking with either Ceres or Lyra before my collapse. Doing my best to keep the agitation from my inflection, I said, my companions and I need to leave immediately. Just like that? You're not even going to tell me what happened, Arthur? This show of weakness could not have come at a worse time, Ceres replied. Oh, just like that. You're not even going to tell me what happened, Arthur? This show of weakness could not have come at a worse time, Ceres replied. Her gaze turned away, focusing into the middle distance, and when she spoke again, it was to herself. But seeking acceptance from the dragons is essential. If we tell the people that you have gone to ensure the peace, then most will accept it without question. Her attention jumped back to me. Still, as your partner in this venture, I would like to know the truth of what has happened. See, and here's my thing with Arthur, though. I don't know if he just don't have a whole lot of trust in people, but this motherfucker is always just leaving and doing things and never explaining anything. Like, I understand, like, time is of the essence, you know, like when he got back from the training montage with Ellie and Lyra and stuff, he got back, and then the owl, well, not the owl, the dragon disguised as the owl showed up, and then he immediately just left, no explanation, nothing. He was like, I gotta go, and just dipped out. And it was like, okay, what about your people? They want to know, like, what's going on? Do they need to prepare for something or whatever? You know, all he said was like, you know, try not to, you know, agitate the dragons or something like that. You know, be truthful. Don't try to hide anything. So he did tell them some stuff, but he just kind of like just up and just dip. And then now here we go again. He's just up and just dipping again. He's just like, oh, I gotta go. I'll be back later. And obviously Sarah doesn't like that shit. She's like, whoa, like just like that? You're not even gonna explain or anything? So that's kind of been a pattern with him lately. On my end, it seems like I'm a little delayed or like choppy, like a little bit. So let me know if I'm choppy on your end, because if I'm choppy, I might have to restart this. So let's have this conversation elsewhere. Just like that, you're not even going to tell me what happened, Arthur? This shows weakness. Yeah, her attention jumped back to me. Still, as your partner in this venture, I would like to know the truth of what has happened. I thought back to the vision shared. I would like to know the truth of what has happened. Oh, so she wants to know what happened with him and this whole you know, what happened with him like collapsing or whatever. I thought back to the vision I shared with Sylvie. A wraith attack on Kez's general resulted in the deaths of the Gladers and who knows how many other important public figures in Ediston. My concerns were many, but primary among them now was to verify that it hadn't actually happened yet. If it hadn't, I could figure out how to prevent it, but sharing the information could be dangerous. Oh my God, are you serious? We're going back to this? We're going back to the whole, if I tell you anything, then it might fuck up some things. Like, man, this is dumb. This is so dumb, because it's just like, and that's what was so annoying about Renia. Like, even though we understood Renia had, you know, she had good intentions, right? But the whole I can't tell you, but, you know, you just gotta trust me thing, like, that shit was annoying as fuck. And then now it's like Arthur's gonna do the same shit. If Elder Renia had taught me anything, it was that attempting to change the future was exceedingly risky. I had to proceed with the utmost caution. Additionally, I wasn't sure who, if anyone, should know that Sylvie was having... Oh, okay. That makes sense. He wasn't sure if he should let people know that Sylvie has the ability to see the future. So that makes sense. What's up, Billy? But I'm not shitting on Renia, though. I'm not shitting on Renia because, I don't know. It was still annoying, but she had good intentions, and she saved... I don't know, man. She kind of picked and chose what she did, because she would interfere. Like, for example, she went and interfered and saved Arthur's parents, right? She saved his parents. But, like, could they have, like, interfered and, like, messed up everything? But she was willing to save his parents. Maybe because she knew that if his parents died, Arthur would have fucking, you know, went crazy or some shit, or not been reliable, or, you know, would have went into depression, or would have became ruthless and back like his old self from Earth or something. Like, you know what? I'm pretty sure there's a reason why, but I just don't like the whole, oh, I can't tell you anything, I gotta keep it to myself, and we just kind of sitting back and just wondering and guessing. But then again, we saw the vision, so that's different though, because we never knew what Renia really saw. All we knew was that she knew a bunch of shit. So I don't know. But let me not make judgments too quickly though, because he's still kind of like figuring out what he's going to do. So my concerns were many, but my primary among them was to verify that it hadn't actually happened yet. If it hadn't, I could figure out how to prevent the information from, you know, blah, blah. Elder Renia thought it was anything. It was an attempt to change the future was exceedingly risky. I had to proceed with the utmost caution. Additionally, I wasn't sure if anyone should know that Sylvie was having visions of the future. I wasn't sure I could trust even Ceres with that detail. How is he still questioning Ceres' trust? Like, everything she's done has been to be helpful. Like, she's literally put her life at risk, saving him from Uto, and like, the shit with distracting Agrona while he went back and took over Black Ben and Ediston and Zyra's Academy, all the shit that he was doing. You know, like, I mean, she's done a lot to earn her trust, you would think. But I can't explain now, I said. Not until I have a clear idea of it myself. There was a pause as our gaze remained locked. Never mind then. I can see that you're set on this. She broke our eye contact with a humorous laugh. Richard Horns. Life was easier when I was surrounded by people who jumped to do whatever I said. I gave her a wry smile. You're working very hard to deprive yourself of such a life. Shaking her head, she waved me away as if I was practically an irritating fly. Go on, do what you must. I'd have liked to offer you more preparation for your conversation with the dragons regarding our defection. But I suppose I trust you to handle it on your own. All I will ask is that you take one of mine with you, as my eyes, ears, and voice, as it were. Cerys? I mean, not Cerys. Kara? Is it gonna be Kara? No, I said. Well, he just said no, like straight up, like no. See, this is the cocky area. This is the cocky Arthur coming out, like, oh, I'm working with you. Like, she's willing to be like, okay, you can go ahead and leave and not explain anything to me right now, and I just gotta trust you. But at least like take somebody with you, so that way, I can kind of know what's going on from their perspective, and just in case you don't want to tell me the truth, here's like a little side, what I call like a. What would I call it? Like a backup plan, I guess, in a way, of just trying to make sure that she gets the right information. And Arthur just like straight up, no, I'm not doing that. Like, what the fuck? Like you gotta give a little bit. Like, shit, you just about to just dip out after you just collapsed. Anyway, as my eyes, ears, and voice, as it were, no, I said, quicker and more forcefully than I had intended. But he didn't just say no. His ass was like, no, like I ain't doing that shit. I don't think that's a good idea. Cerys' look hardened. What little good humor she maintained, slipping away. No, Arthur, this partnership works in both directions. You have asked for me not to question your exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just dipping off, not explaining anything. She's just supposed to trust you, and you can't even allow her to take the Anyway. No, Arthur, this partnership works in both directions. You have asked for me not to question your reason for leaving at this critical moment and without prior discussion. I'm requesting that you make this concession in return. Yeah, it's like a concession, right? I ran my tongue along the inside of my teeth as I considered. Why is he saying no? Is he saying no because he doesn't think there's anybody powerful enough to be able to do anything and think that maybe they're going to get into the way if there's a fight that happens? But then again, you would think the more people, the better. But then who else is he going to take with him? Is he going to take Chul? Has Chul recovered? Chul seemed like he was like, I got to recover from this, defeat or whatever, this embarrassment. So Chul's probably good enough to be able to come. But like, maybe he just trusts that they're not going to be strong enough to do anything. That's what I'm thinking. So yes, I ran my tongue along the inside of my teeth as I considered. Being in between dragons and wraiths was no place for an Alacrian deserter. But it would tear open a rift between Cerys and me if I forced the issue. I concede the point then, I said after a long pause. High Lord Frost stepped forward, giving the two of us a small bow. Lady Cerys, I'd like to offer my granddaughter Enola. No, don't bring Enola. We don't want Enola killed. We want Enola to stay alive. She's strong as shit. Well, she's strong as shit compared to regular Alacrians, But like, yeah, didn't she get like a regalia or some shit like that? The last bestowal, like she's fucking strong as hell. But and she won the tournament. Yeah, I think she's the one that won the Victoria. She won the fucking tournament. Like, so Enola's up there as far as like the youth, like the young up and coming. Even though Arthur's young as shit too. So anyway, but I'm not comparing Arthur because like that's different. But no, don't let Enola come. Enola, we don't want her to get killed. For this task, she is highly capable and familiar with Regent Arthur from their time at the academy. Thank you, Oriel. I think that's how you said it. Oriel? Yeah. But I want someone slightly more seasoned for this task. So let me guess. Who could it be? I mean, my obvious guess would be Kara, but that's obvious. It seemed like they're kind of like, oh, you know, maybe, like we don't, they kind of being mysterious, I guess, about it. Maybe it's something that we don't expect. Maybe it's like, it could be Lyra. Lyra would probably be a good choice. But then again, Lyra was Cadel's retainer, so Lyra doesn't have any like loyalty towards Ceres, or other than her being, you know, former Scythe. But like, who could it be besides? Oh, it could be what's his name? Cyrith. It could be Cyrith. It could be her retainer. It could literally just be her retainer. So that's my guess. It's either going to be Kara, which is obvious, or Cyrith. I think that you're gonna throw a little curveball and have it be Cyrith that's gonna go with him, and seeing like how Cyrith interacts with Arthur and Sylvie. I think that'd be cool. Because Cyrith and Arthur haven't really spent any time together, so it'd be kind of cool to see how they interact with one another. Okay, so I want someone slightly more seasoned for this task. She nodded to him in appreciation. He bit back anything else he wanted to say, retreating to his previous spot against one wall. She continued, her words directed towards Corbett. Kara would be a stronger candidate for the role. Kara would be a stronger candidate for the role I have in mind. Not least of all because she has already worked alongside Arthur at length and has... So this is Corbett saying this. Arthur at length and has direct experience with the dragons. That's true. I trust in this. I trust her in this, and I'm certain she will be willing. Can you fetch her? I kept my thoughts to myself, not wanting to prolong this any further now that I'd already given in to Ceres' demand. While we waited for Corbett to return, Ceres spent a few minutes providing me with the basis of her plans in the Elenwar Waste, so that I might pass them along to the dragons if I thought necessary. When Kara arrived, I bid Ceres farewell and led my companions out of the village and into the Beastglades. So it is Kara. It's Kara. I thought it'd be cool to have Cyrith come with him, man. I thought that'd be cool. See a little interaction between the two of them. Anyway, it got dark fast as hell outside. Anyway, so it's there's a town. So is it just Kara? Like, it's no Chul or anything. It's just Arthur, Sylvie, and Kara. There's a town near the western edge of the Beastglades, not too far from the south. It's the closest teleportation gate that will get us to Ediston, I explained as we marched. Don't think that I'm unhappy to be coming along, Kara said, glancing around furtively. Yeah, I think I said furtively. As we moved into the dense tree line. Who the fuck is this? Man, I got some of these truckers, man, they be struggling in the back. I don't understand what be going on. Like, this guy next to me is struggling, like going slow as hell, like he can't turn the truck. Anyway, trying to make sure my truck don't get hit. You don't have no idea how many people trying to back up next to you and they can't back and they hitting your shit and smashing your shit up. My truck got hit once before already, but it was crazy. I was in the back. I was laying down, and all of a sudden, my whole truck just went rocking and shaking and shit. I'm just like, what the fuck? Fucking, they smashed my shit. I was like, oh, I was pissed. Anyways, let me put this further down. I'm getting kind of hot. Shit. Anyways, so she said that, now it's kind of loud. Let me know if that's too loud, okay? Don't think that I'm unhappy to be coming along, Kara said, glancing around furtively as we moved into the dense tree line. But what exactly are we rushing off in such a hurry for? Hopping over a downed tree, I turned and... Okay, this is kind of loud. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of loud. Anyways, hopping over a downed tree, I turned and gave Ellie my hand to help her. So Ellie's going with him too? They didn't even say who I was going. I didn't know Ellie was going with him. Hopping over a downed tree, I turned and gave Ellie my hand to help her over. Then Kara behind her. As I took Kara's hand, I said, I've discovered some evidence that leads me to believe that Wraiths will be attacking Ediston in the near future. That's what he said. Hey, listen, he told her though. He told her. He didn't tell Sarah's, but he told her. Like, how the fuck do you know that they might be attacking in the near future? I guess Kara's her ultimate thought would be like, did you unlock a new God rune that can make you see the future or some shit? You know, like that's probably what she's gonna automatically think. But yeah, he told Kara, man. He trusts Kara, even though he knows that Kara's gonna go back and tell Sarah's, but he trusts her. Anyway, yeah, so I discovered some evidence that leads me to believe that the Wraiths will be attacking Ediston in the near future. Chul's there too! Why did they explain who was coming, man? I didn't even know Chul was there. Chul slammed a brick light. I don't know if his name is actually Chul or Chol, but I'm calling him Chul because I've been calling him Chul for the longest. Anyway, Chul slammed a brick-like fist into his open palm, heat rising from his shoulders and visible waves of orange light. A chance for vengeance. Wraiths, Kara said breathily, her brows knitting to a frown. But how could you know? Do you have a Jinn relic in your pocket that shows you the future? She attempted a playful smile, but it came across as pain. No, I can't explain yet. I'm sorry. Perhaps when we reach Ediston and have had time to scope out the situation there, I said, rubbing the back of my neck. Ellie had gone pale as I spoke, and I was certain she was remembering the aftermath of my last fight against Agrona's secret Asura killers. So, are we just going to, like, not talk about the whole visions of the future thing then? Regis asked as he loped along at my side. Wait, this got to be in his head, right? So are we just going to not talk about the whole visions of the future thing then? Regis asked as he loped along at my side. Sylvia is amassing quite the collection of mysterious subplots, isn't she? She needs time to probe her own understanding and insight of this vision, I thought back. Yeah, so this is in his head. Until we have a better idea of why and what happened, no one else should know. Out loud, I said. Oh, no one else should know. Out loud, I said, here is good enough. Coming to a stop in a small clearing and looking at my bond, Sylvie, whose mind was a muddle of surging and conflicting thoughts and ideas, forced herself to focus. The transformation was nearly instant as she grew into the form of a black-scaled dragon. Kara gasped, her mouth moving silently as she stared up in awe. It's not that impressive. Wings are overrated anyway, Regis said as he stepped onto me and drifted to my core. I hopped up on Sylvie's back at the base of her neck, and Chul helped Kara and Ellie mount between Sylvie's wings. Kara tentatively reached out and brushed her fingers along the back of one wing, a shiver running through her. From the ground, Boo growled low in his throat. His small eyes... Is he going to get carried again? Because I know he didn't like that shit last time. Boo growled at his low throat, his small eyes peering up at Ellie questioningly. I pressed my hand reassuringly against Sylvie's long neck as she stared down at Boo with one huge eye like a pool of liquid gold. It won't be too much, I asked. Just as long as I don't have to carry Chul, too. I'll be fine, she said, her voice rich and rumbling in her draconic form. Chul flew into the air and waited. Sylvie grabbed Boo in her large front claws, gathered herself and sprang up, her wings beating at the air with graceful ease. Chul moved his position beside her, and we took off to the southwest. We stayed just above the treetops, not worrying about an attack from any mana beasts. The combined auras, I was about to say Asuras, the combined auras of Sylvie, Chul, and myself would keep all but the most powerful and aggressive mana beasts from attacking. And we were a long way away from the depths of the beast glades where such creatures dwelled. On Dragonback, the journey only took us a couple of hours. A couple of hours? That's a long ass time. Saving an entire day or more of slogging through the dense forest below. Sylvie transferred back well outside of town, and we completed the journey on foot. We had no need. We had no need of the Adventurers Guild or any vendors, and so we didn't stop anywhere in town, but instead went straight to the teleportation gate. Before approaching the gate attendant, who would program the gate to Edison for us, I stopped my companions and looked at them all seriously. I have been mulling over how to proceed for the entire journey and have made a few decisions that I knew not everyone would approve of. Okay, so Arthur's making some decisions. He's figuring out exactly what he's gonna do. So this is good. This is good. Let's see what he has in mind. I don't really know for sure. I'm actually gonna close this curtain really quick. Just give me 1 second. Close this curtain. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. Okay. So Arthur's making some decisions right now. So let's see what exactly he does. What is he gonna do? I always lose track of where I was at. I was just okay. Okay. So some few decisions that I knew not everyone would approve of. Ellie, you're not coming to Edison with us. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm just like, why the fuck is he taking Ellie? Like, what? Ellie, you're not coming to Edison with us. I said, rip the Band-Aid off. Ripping the bandage off what I knew was going to be a difficult conversation. I understand. Man, Arthur still doesn't... She's maturing, even though, I don't know, her whole outburst about, she was kind of throwing a little bit of a tantrum with the whole, don't help me up, I'm going to sit here and train, and, it doesn't hurt, with her arm being messed up and stuff. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't too bad. But Arthur was thinking it's going to be a difficult conversation, and she's going to want to go. She was like, I understand. Maturity, man. Ellie, you're not going. I said, ripping the bandage off what I knew was going to be a difficult conversation. I understand, she said, catching me off guard. She looked embarrassed at my surprise. Oh, don't look at me like that. In spite of my outburst, right? A little outburst that she had. I know I can't be in Edison with you if things turn out like you expect. But I'm serious about getting stronger. I want to make a difference and she... What the fuck is that word? Man, that's one thing about Turtle Me, man. He be bringing up some words that I gotta look up because I have never heard this fucking word before in my life.
Gesticulate.
Gesticulate. I want to make a difference and she
Gesticulate.
gesticulated. Have y'all heard that word? Gesticulated? What the fuck? It means, so it's past tense. Use gestures, especially dramatic ones, instead of speaking or to emphasize one's word. They were shouting and gesticulating frantically at drivers who did not slow down. So it's like a way of expressing yourself without using words, right? Like hand gestures or something like that. So I want to make a difference and she gesticulated randomly with her hand. Okay. I've never heard that being used that way. That's crazy. All this in the best way that I can. If that means staying out of the way and being safe for a bit, then that's what I'll do. She reached out her hand and I bumped my own against it with a grateful smile. Regis, who had resumed walking with us in his physical form, reached up and placed a huge paw on our hands, his tongue lolling out the side of his mouth. Ellie laughed, and I rolled my eyes. Regis always wanted to be a part of everything, man. Anything that he think might be cool, he want to be a part of it. What? Isn't this a team huddle? He joked. Chul, who had been watching our exchange with a deepening look of concern, huffed. Sister Eleanor cannot be sent off on her own. He ground his teeth, clearly considering his next... So is he about to keep her safe? Clearly considering his next words carefully. Though, bruh, they all maturing right now. Even Chul is maturing. Though I wish to test myself against these wraiths, I also hope to do my duty to you, Arthur, and make a difference, he said, his tone conveying a not quite entirely suppressed somberness. If you wish it, I will escort her back to the dwarf home, Vildorio, and watch over her in your absence. That's wild. That is so wild that Chul is saying this. I let out a sigh of relief, grateful that Chul had offered before I had to ask. With no long-distance teleportation gates remaining in Vildorio or anywhere else in Darv, the safest way for Ellie to return would be to fly. Thank you, Chul. I understand why you left the hearth and what this means to you. My hope is that there is no battle in Neddiston and that you didn't miss out on any of the fun. He grunted and gave me a serious nod. Yes, but if you do meet a wraith, if you do meet a wraith, do give them a thorough butt kicking for me. Besides, Byron and Micah will be in Vildorio, maybe even Lance Veray. They are really awesome to train with, my sister said brightly, her own fear and frustration barely evident. Boo rumbled and Ellie grinned. Boo says he'd be happy to bat you around a bit. Wait, what? Boo says he'd be happy to bat you around a bit too if you need it. Chuckling, I turned to Sylvie, Regis, and Kara. Let's go then. The mage quickly calibrated the portal and ushered us through. The last thing I saw as I glanced over my shoulder was Ellie flanked by Chul and Boo. She waved. I lifted my hand and was whisked away. It had been a long time since I traveled by the ancient mage's portals in Daikathon. I had gotten used to the Alacrian's Tempest warp technology, which made teleportation much faster and smoother. The portals of Daikathon relics left behind after the genocide dragged the user across space, which distorted as it sped by and had been known to make people sick the first time they used it. I realized halfway there that I should have warned Kara as we appeared one by one in front of the receiving portal. Kara bent over and clutched her stomach, trying not to be sick. A soldier who had likely seen this happen more than once hopped back, his mouth snapping shut as he cut off whatever memorized message of welcome he'd been about to deliver. So she's about to hurl up her hand as if to ward off her nausea. I'm fine, she said hoarsely, but what in the virtuous name was that? Finally, she stood and glared at me. Absolutely barbaric. The moment of amusement I felt melted away as I remembered why we were here. Why we were there. Which coincided with the soldier snapping to attention as he realized who I was. Regent Leyland! He stepped around Kara and reached for my hand with both of his. It's great to meet you. Really, an honor, sir. Or no, I'm fucking making up words. It's truly, really, a true honor. You saved my father at the Battle of Slore, sir, and I've always hoped for the chance to thank you in person. I could be the one thanking your father for his service, I said with a practiced smile, allowing him to shake my hand. Suddenly remembering himself, the guard snapped back into a more professional stance. Sorry, Regent, got a little excited. I'm sure you were here to see Guardian Charon looking at another guard who was poking his head in through the door of the small building that housed the portal. He started to give an order, but I interjected. Actually, I need my arrival to stay quiet. Okay. So you're trying to go on a down low, trying to be a little more sneaky about what's going on. Okay. The guard hesitated, glancing from me to the pal. And here's what's so crazy, man. Arthur wouldn't have this problem if he would literally just take up the role as like, hey, I'm in charge, I'm the leader, you know. Because he literally acts like it, but he doesn't have the official title. And he wouldn't have to worry about, oh my God, are they going to listen to me? Are they going to listen to the dragons? Like, if he just take up, I'm the leader, I'm in charge, I'm the one that's, you know, has the duty and the responsibility to protect everybody in Daikathon. You know, they know about everything he's done. They know about the lives he saved. They know that he got rid of Tacy. They know that he got rid of the Alacrians. They know that he got rid of the Alacrians in fucking Vildoriel. They know that he got rid of the Elacrians that came and attacked Vildoriel with Viessa and all the rest of them. Like, the motherfucker has saved so many lives. Like, why are they all not saying, like, oh yeah, we're gonna trust, you know, Leywin and he's gonna let us do, you know, he's gonna do what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I mean, he's literally saved countless amounts of lives. Like, it's crazy. But apparently that's not good enough. The guard hesitated, glancing from me to the palace in the distance, visible through one of the narrow windows. I understand you have your orders, I continued, trying to sound both confident and consoling. I don't want to insult Charon by not going to see him right away, but lives are at stake. I really need you to just pretend that I never stepped out of this portal. The guard hesitated, as he inspected my companions, frowning at Sylvie and Kara's horns. But the Gladers were very insistent. Trailing off, he shook his head and snapped into a salute. You have my word, Regent. Returning the gesture, I marched quickly from the portal chamber and out into the courtyard beyond. 2 more guards stood outside, including the one who had peeked his head in the door. I gave them a nonchalant salute and led my companions out of sight, taking shelter in a narrow alley between 2 tall townhomes. That's kind of a tongue twister. 2 tall townhomes. Well, that's one question answered, I said. Edison hasn't already been attacked, Kara filled in. But the Wraiths may still be here already. From what Ceres was able to tell me, they'll be adept at hiding their mana signatures and arranging the battlefield to suit them. Okay. So what's the plan? That's what I'm wondering. Like, is it just like a, you know, like a covert type of thing? Like, we're going to just check and just kind of see what's going on. Is this really about to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Or is this more like a negotiation? We're about to kind of try to intercept them and talk. Is this like we're about to intercept them and fight? Is he going to maybe warn Charon? Maybe warn them? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. A figure crossed in front of the alley where we were huddled, but it was only an older gentleman out for a walk with his mana beast, a creature like a feathered lizard that skittered ahead of him on a leather leash. Addressing Sylvie and Kara, I said, I want you to go to the palace, find Kathleen and explain what we've seen. Question her about the dragons. Whatever you do, though, don't let her bring you to Charon. I need to figure out how to say that name. Is it Charon or Charon? It probably is not Charon. I think it might be just Charon. English, man. Fucking English language. My gaze turned up to Kara's horns. Or let them arrest you. She crossed her arms and gave me a severe look. That wasn't my fault. Extending my senses outward, I felt for potent mana signatures in and around the city. The pressure exuded by the dragons was evident, even from where we stood, but I felt no other presence strong enough to be an Asura or Wraith. I probed the dragon signatures and felt a hint of familiarity. Winsome is here as well. Winsome is here? Oh, shit. Winsome is here? I didn't expect that. I confirmed. Neither can know you're in the city until we're ready to deal with them, Syl. They may try to haul you away, back to your grandfather. What will you be doing? Kara asked, her eyes jumping to the blurred figure of a small child as she dashed past the alley mouth. Regis and I will search the city for any sign of the Wraiths. Sylvie took my hand and squeezed it gently before letting it go. Look at Sylvie, man. Sylvie's just so... She's so protective of Arthur. Like, as much as Arthur is protective of her, like, she's just as protective of Arthur. I mean, shit, she literally sacrificed her entire fucking, life, body, just to save his life. Because she's like half human, right? If I understand that shit correctly, right? Like, she's half human, half dragon. Arthur's half human, half dragon. And that's why I said before, like, maybe that's the reason why Sylvie can go into the relic tombs, though. But if she was half human, half dragon, wouldn't she have a problem with transforming into a dragon the same way that Chul has a problem transforming into a dragon? Like, he runs out of mana so quickly because he's only half Asura? But I could have sworn that she said, when she was looking at herself, that she, like, had features that looked like Arthur. which implied that she was part human. I know I'm not crazy because I remember reading that shit. I kind of got questions now. I never really thought about it that much. But anyway, so they're going to search the city. She reached out, squeezing his hand before letting go. Reach out to me if you get into trouble, yes? I know you faced rape before, but don't get complacent. Be careful in the palace, I said in answer. It's certain to be a political quagmire. Kara and Sylvie made their way out of the alley, heading across the city toward the palace, while I leapt to the townhouse roof and activated Realmheart. Regis once again sheltering inside my core, I watched them forge their way into Edison streets, or city streets, until they disappeared from view. Then I turned my focus to the task at hand. Atmospheric mana shone everywhere, with the specific elements closely aligned to where the mana lingered, such as earth attribute mana clinging to the ground and stone walls, while air attribute mana whirled and danced along the wind. These mana particles were nearly always in motion, being drawn toward a meditating mage or pushing away from the source of some spell, or just winding their way through the world in accordance with some inborn mechanical property of the mana itself. The ether in the atmosphere was much less dense. Only a thin curtain of purple particles could be seen filling in the spaces between the mana particles. Here's my question, and y'all tell me if y'all know the answer to this already. So we know that, because I just thought about this. So we know that Arthur is able to use mana rotation, which is what Sylvia taught him, which is what Arthur taught the Lances, right? Being able to expend mana and also, what is it called? Expend mana and absorb mana at the exact same time, right? Mana rotation. But can he do the exact same thing with ether? Like, can he absorb ether while moving and then also at the same time expel it or use it? Because I don't know, but that would be good to know. It was exactly the interplay between those two forces that I was concerned with. Wait, what? Only a thin curtain of purple particles could be seen filling in the spaces between the mana particles. It was exactly the interplay between those two forces that I was concerned with. The wraiths couldn't influence ether, and so they couldn't manipulate it to help mask their presence. I couldn't be sure just how effectively they could do so with mana, and so I couldn't rely on Realmheart alone in my search. Although the guide rune lets me see even the clustered mana of an invisible or an illusion mage, I theorized that a magic user with a suitably refined, with a suitably refined control over mana. With a suitably refined control over mana, could smooth away even that to make themselves truly undetectable, especially if they also balance the input and output of their mana with a technique similar to mana rotation. I was just talking about mana rotation, bro. Ain't that a coincidence? Missing my ability to fly more than I had in quite a long time, I leapt from one roof to the next, needing to stay as high as I could get for maximum visibility. The interplay between ether and mana was very subtle and easily missed. And we have a whole city to search, I thought. So I'm confused. So how is ether going to help him detect the wraiths being there? I know he said that it has something to do with the interplay between mana and ether, but like, I still don't understand how that's going to help him detect them though. Because if they can, I don't know. He's talked about mana rotation, so what? They can use mana rotation or something similar to it, control the input and output. We have a whole city to search, I thought. My mood sour, still proactive, approach seemed better than waiting at the palace for something to happen. While ether enhanced my senses and Realmheart granting me vision of mana particles, I proceeded to navigate from one neighborhood to the next, searching for any condensed so he's searching for any condensed mana without an obvious source. A hint of suppressed mana signature or changes in the atmospheric ether then might indicate a powerful source of condensed. Okay, let me reread this. So they're explaining like what exactly he's doing. So he's searching for condensed mana with an obvious source or without an obvious source, a hint of suppressed mana signature. Okay, so being able to detect like, oh, maybe something's suppressing their mana, there's a hint of it, or changes in the atmospheric ether, then might indicate a powerful source of condensed but hidden mana. So he's looking for the ether to change because of the condensed suppressed mana, or for the hint of a mana signature being suppressed, or for any changes with the just condensed mana period, or searching for condensed mana. So it's like three different things. He's searching for condensed mana without an obvious source, he's searching for a suppressed mana signature, or he's searching for ether having some sort of reaction to somebody's suppressed mana. Meanwhile, I could sense that Sylvie and Ellie reached the palace, but were still waiting for an audience with Catherine. As I searched, I tried to remember what the city had looked like before the war, but I couldn't. The tall walls cutting the city off from the slope down to the bay hadn't been there, and I knew the city's separate districts had been reshaped and walled off from each other, with some entire neighborhoods vanishing altogether. Edison still carried a, what the fuck is that? Is that, is it militaristic? Is that how you say that? I think that might be militaristic.
Militaristic.
Yeah, that's militaristic. A city fashioned into a fortified hub of countrywide politics, but the people seemed to move about as if they didn't notice. A thought struck me. Keep a lookout for areas where people are behaving strangely, I sent to Regis, who acted like a second set of eyes. Areas people are avoiding without seeming to realize. Areas people are avoiding without seeming to realize it. Oh, like maybe they got one of those cloaks that, averts people's glances and stuff like that, like how he had. Places that occur dark glances, where passerby speed up to get past quickly. Yeah, no problem, he replied, his tone oozing sarcasm. It's not like we're searching for a needle in a haystack or anything. An invisible needle poisoned to kill everyone. As I resumed my search, I jumped down into the streets, sweeping a faded turquoise cloak off a clothesline and dropping a coin in the deep, falling down to obscure my wheat blonde hair and golden eyes. I also covered the glow of my god runes as I activated God Step alongside Realmheart, slipping into the streams of traffic. I opened myself to my senses, experiencing the sights and sounds, but also the sixth sense that was the tug of the mana, which in turn was overlaid with the sight and song of the etheric pathways connecting every point to every other point around me. So is he just activating God Step just for the pathways? He's not actually like using it. So he's activating God Step along Realmheart. Okay. So he's seeing the pathways. I followed the current of the city, moving with the natural ebb and flow of its people. It was there, I was certain, at the cost, see, I'll be messing up, man. At the confluence of mana, ether, and the human sensitivity that I would find my prey. The passage of time became a meaningless blur, keeping track of it a sense that I lost as I focused entirely on the others. The movement of my feet was automatic. The subtle turning of my head to listen to a child's whimper or watch a woman hurry past a darkened doorway done without conscious effort. There, Regis thought, honing in on a distant patch of city wall sometime later. Following the course of his mind, I watched as a pair of guards froze, glancing at each other. Ether rushed into my eyes, enhancing my vision so I could focus on the distant point. The guards were pale, sweating. Uh-oh. The question in their eyes obvious. Why am I suddenly afraid? As one, they turned and began marching back along their patrol route, but too quickly to be natural. I moved into the shadows of a building. The sun was setting. I realized, and the shadows were deep. With my hood drawn low and my back hunched, I shuffled toward the wall, suppressing my sight and hearing to instead focus on suppressing my sight and hearing to instead focus on the mana and ether. There it was, what I've been looking for. A subtle distortion in the etheric pathways. Oh, so he's looking for, so that's why he had the pathways on, because he's looking for something to distort the pathways. A twitch in the atmospheric mana. Then it was gone. Frowning, I expanded my senses again, searching for the same phenomenon nearby. When I couldn't feel it, I risked jumping up to the top of the wall, where I immediately crouched behind the low stone edge and searched with my eyes as well. My sharp-eyed companion again spotted it first, the marketplace. Peering down at the townhouse roof, I scanned the small market square tucked up against the foot of the district wall. Beneath that wall, the shadows grew deeper, and there, no strong source of mana emanated from the marketplace, and the only mana signatures were a handful of wandering mages, none of whom were higher than Orange Core. But in the heart of those shadows, the atmospheric mana distorted ever so slightly. So subtle I might have missed it if not for the faintest distortion of the etheric pathways that suggested a powerful source of mana was pressing against the ether all around it. That's crazy. So are they able to suppress their mana that well because of ability? Or is it because of some sort of artifact or something, I'm thinking? Everyone who approached the shadows. So they're actual shadows? There's not like figures or whatever. They're just shadows? Like they can't be seen? Everyone who approached the shadows turned away suddenly, wrapping their arms around themselves or shivering as if they had a sudden chill before hurrying away to a different part of the marketplace. I started moving in that direction, keeping my eye on that one spot. The distortion dissolved, mana and ether relaxing as they eased back into their normal configuration. But it didn't take me long to find the distortion again, now on the other side of the wall. So are they like teleporting or some shit? Like how are they going from one place and then gone? And then they pop up at another place and then gone. And then they pop up at another place? So it didn't take them long to find the distortion again, now on the other side of the wall. Hold on one second. Okay. Oh, shit. Alright. It didn't take me long to find the distortion again, now on the other side of the wall, within the shadows of a tower. It's heading out of the city, Regis pointed out. It knows we've seen it. How the fuck does it know? That's crazy. Like, this is some special skills that they got. For one, to be able to take out a dragon, and for two, to be so undetectable that, like, everybody would have an extremely hard time trying to figure them out or trying to find out that they even exist. And then going so far as to being able to figure out somebody's following them or somebody's onto them. Like, how the fuck are they able to do this? Man, the race there, maybe he got a weaker group. Maybe there's a stronger group that can just fuck some shit up, where if Agrona had sent out a stronger group of Wraiths, Arthur would have been done. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy that they're able to do this. It's heading out of the city, Regis pointed out. It knows we've seen it. Casting off the cloak, I press Regis, and he manifests from my long shadow. His paws on the wall's edge, the atmospheric pathways open before me. As I appeared in the tower's shadow, violent lightning bolts running up my arms and down my legs. I felt the pressure exude by the invisible figure for half a second. Then it vanished. On top of the city's outer wall, Regis said. How does Regis detecting this shit better than Arthur is? Guiding me as excitedly as he rushed along the wall to have a better view. Feeling the path, I sidestepped again. This time into the shadow of a guard post that topped the tall outer wall on the south edge of the city. Already gone, Regis huffed. How the fuck are they moving like this? This is wild. Over the wall somewhere. I had to search this time, but I was starting to see the pattern. South of the wall, many low buildings had been erected to replace those demolished before and during the war. I searched their shadows and found the disturbance just as it vanished again, reappearing behind a building a few hundred feet further away. The etheric pathways took me there, and again I appeared just as the distortion vanished. Bruh, how are they moving faster than God Step? Like, yo, like, if he can God Step to the location, how the fuck are they going before he... That's crazy. Listen, man. These rates ain't no joke, yo. They ain't no joke. Like, this is crazy. That's wild. So the atmospheric pathways took me there, and again I appeared just as the distortion vanished. Distantly through his senses, I felt Regis leap off the high wall and strike the ground running beneath me or behind me. I found and God-stepped after the distortion again, but I had to look for my prey, whereas it just had to keep running. And again, it kept just ahead of me. But after a few more rapid shifts, we reached the end of the slums built outside the city walls. What few trees had grown on these stony steps approaching the bay had been cut down during the war, providing a clear view for over a mile, and with the only shadows provided by wild shrubs, low bushes, or young straggly trees. But the sun was nearly down now, and those shadows were growing longer by the moment. The disturbance appeared in the shadows of a large rock, and subtly veering eastward. I scanned the area behind or beyond the rock, where a row of wild berry bushes provided the only shadow of substance. Okay. So it seems like they're jumping from shadow to shadow. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're jumping from shadow to shadow. Like they actually need the shadows. Who else could do that? Okay, you know what? This makes sense because Uto was able to make those spikes appear like, wasn't it like he was able to make those spikes appear extremely fast whenever there was a shadow cast? I don't know if I don't know if the same thing applies to Nico, but I know Uto was able to make the spikes go way faster in the shadows than just in the regular sun or whatever. So this has to do with shadows. Does anybody else use shadows that we know of? Who else be using shadows? Because I know Uto has ability that has something to do with it, but like, do we know of anybody else that like jumps in and out of shadows or anything? Maybe Melsry? Does Melsry use shadows? I don't know, man. But these shadows seem so familiar. But obviously this is like a basilisk mana type of thing. Okay, yeah, so whereas the only row of wild berry bushes provided the only shadow of substance. Charting the path through the ether, I God-stepped first to the rock, then to the bushes, not waiting in between. I would have grinned as the disturbance swelled right beside me, like claws through the shadows, except there was no time. The dark shroud of black... So is he trying to get ahead of it, like know where it's going to go before he actually leaves? A dark shroud of black ice stabbed out of the air, aimed at my throat. A dark shard of black ice stabbed out of the air, aimed at my throat. I parried, but when I reached for the hidden arm holding the blade, I grabbed nothing but air. Another blade thrust from the side, aimed at my hip. Then another in front of me, driving up under. Bruh, they can literally assassinate you without you even knowing. Like, literally, like from close range, and you have no idea. Man, this is crazy. I parried. But when I reached for the hidden arm holding the blade, I grabbed nothing but air. Another blade thrust up from the side, aimed at my hip. Then another in front of me, driving up under my ribs towards my heart. I blocked both strikes, imbuing the third impact with an etheric blast that incinerated the bushes. Moving in the wake of the blast, an etheric blade appeared in my fist. Wait. Moving in the wake of the blast, and it's ether blade. An ether blade appeared in my fist. swinging into the center mass of the disruption in a blur as ether exploded through my arm in precise sequence. So he's using the burst strike. I felt the blade meet resistance as it found my target's flesh and bone. The shadows fell away like a cloak being pulled from my target's shoulders as they rolled across the ground and back to their feet. One arm had been completely severed. So he legitimately is fighting. One arm had been completely severed. The bloody appendage laying on the ground between us. The thin, pale man pressed his remaining hand against the gushing stump, glaring at me with bright red eyes through the bangs of his dark, unruly hair. "The Ascender," he said, his voice oozing out of him and staining my eardrums. "Where are the rest of you?" I demanded, keeping some distance between us, but ready to counter if he so much as twitched. He shook his head, but no emotions crossed his face beyond a twinge of registered pain. "No warning last time." Wait, what? So he asked him, where's the rest of them? And he gave his face gave no emotions beyond a twinge of registered pain. "No warning last time. The High Sovereign didn't tell them what you are. A toe-to-toe fight, a real one, a real threat for them, even though they didn't survive." No warning. Okay, no warning last time. So is he saying like the race didn't get any warnings about how strong Arthur was? Because remember, when they showed up, they thought he was a joke. They was like, oh yeah, a wannabe Basilisk or a wannabe Scythe or some shit like that. And then, once he started fighting their ass, that's when their ass started getting real serious. No more laughing, no more joking, no more shots. They're like, okay, we gotta survive. So is that what he's talking about? Like they didn't get no warning? So no warning last time. The High Sovereign didn't tell them what you are. A toe-to-toe fight, a real one. A real treat for them. Even though they didn't survive. Won't happen again, Ascender. But not here for you. Knives in the dark, but not for you. "You're standing on the wrong continent," I said, shifting my weight forward slightly. "Which means that even if you're not here for me, I am here for you." Oh, I like that, man. I like that. Talk your shit, man. I like that. You're standing on the wrong continent, bro. Like, so even if you're not here for me, I'm here for you. Now, where are the others? How many? I know you're not here alone. Regis approached from behind, circling around to pen the wraith in from the other side. The pale man shook his head again, and strangely seemed to relax. Already too late. Can't run. Can't talk. Can't win. I cocked my head slightly. I'm not running, but I promise you, I can win. And I'm about done talking. If you can't, not you, Ascender. He is watching. What the fuck is going on, man? It's like so many mysteries and shit. I'm not running, but I promise you I can win. So wait, so he says, already too late. Can't run, can't talk, can't win. So is he talking about himself? Like he's already too late to join in on the fight, or he's too late on whatever mission that he was sent on doing because Arthur discovered him, and so he can't run. So like he can't run away. He can't talk, meaning that he can't reveal what he knows to Arthur, and he can't win, meaning that he knows that he can't defeat Arthur. Maybe that's what he's meaning by when he says that. I cocked my head slightly. I'm not running, but I promise you I can win. I'm about done talking. If you can't, not you, Ascender. He is watching. He pointed to his red eye. My eye to his. He knows. So it is already too late. Agrona? Is he talking about Agrona? Like Agrona has something in their eye to allow him to see what they're doing? Exactly. Race on his block, man. He wants all the smoke. I completely agree with that, man. Like, shit, fucking. I like that shit though. That's just a cool ass what am I trying to say? Like a cool, not moment, but like, I don't know. Like it's like one of those one-liners that Zoro always says. You know, that's what it reminds me of. But anyway, so I'm guessing Agrona is able to see what he's seeing because he said my eye to his. He knows, so it's already too late. You mean Agrona? I took an involuntary step back as mana swelled within and around the wraith. He let out a choked gasp and fell to one knee, then looked up at me with a wide grin on his face, dark blood trickling from the corners trickling from the corners. Regis, back! I slipped into the god step, even as the mana. I knew it! So that's what I was thinking. So he was talking about himself. He knew. So that's what he was saying. Already too late. So he was already too late. Can't run. So he was talking about he can't run away from Arthur. Can't talk. He can't give up the secrets. And he said can't win. So he knew that he couldn't win. So he was saying that it was too late because I guess maybe Agrona triggered something to cause him to like explode with mana or something like that, or I don't know. But yeah, I think he was talking about himself when he said that. So he did off some mana bomb. Regis back. I slipped into God step even as the mana erupted. From several hundred feet away, with etheric electricity still arcing over me, I watched as a nova of black mana and blood iron spikes burst from the wraith's flesh, spraying outward in a deadly dome that ripped the ground apart for 100 feet in every direction. A rain of black metal spikes continued to fall for many long seconds after the explosion. I was still staring at the field of spikes as Regis came paddling up beside me. These Alacrians and their blood curses. When I didn't reply, he added, think that's it? Attack deflected? No. I said, knowing the truth. We hadn't stopped the attack. We simply changed events to a future that we now didn't know. So he knows we hadn't stopped the attack. We simply changed events to a future that we now didn't know. So they changed the events, and now... Okay, so that's the end of the chapter. That's the end of the chapter. Man, so this got me, man, Agrona, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, Agrona is the most interesting person. Between Agrona and Kezis, they're the two most interesting people in this story. Because, like, now, like, what is Agrona trying to accomplish by attacking the dragons now? I know that he said that they opened up like a portal or they opened up some rift or some shit like that to where now they can access Ephiodus. But like, I wonder why now though? Like, why? Like, what is he trying to get? Like, is he just trying to just dwindle his forces? I guess I don't know. But then like, I don't know, man. His ability to be able to get away from Arthur and like, you know, avoid detection, like that's crazy. And then the other race, like how strong they are, and like where the fuck are they? You know, so like, since he didn't stop the attack, so did he just delay it? Like now they're gonna do something else. So I guess now going forward, so I guess Arthur's next course of action would be to meet up with Kathleen and Curtis and maybe meet the dragon. What the fuck is his name? Charon or whatever. Charon, I don't fucking know, whatever. Maybe you gotta meet up with him. I don't know, but I like this though. I like this chapter. I like the whole, you know, like, you know, hide and seek type shit. You know, oh, let me catch you, or like tag type of thing. Like, oh, I gotta tag you. And then he just exploded because he knew he wasn't gonna be able to win. He knew he couldn't run. He knew he couldn't talk. And then he said that he was watching. So Agrona had something set up to where... So that means also... That will also mean, too, that Agrona was probably watching when Arthur fought the race in Vildorio. So he was able to see the abilities that he had. And, like, he probably knows about destruction and everything now. So Arthur thought that he was like, oh, let me not let them go back to tell anything to Agrona. But maybe he was already seeing, in the first place. Or maybe not. Because they tried to leave. Remember, they tried to get the other girl to leave, through the portal and shit. They got sliced in half because he blocked the portal or whatever. They tried to get her to leave to, report back to Agrona. Because I think they said something about it. Like, oh, yeah, you can get back to Agrona or whatever. He's got to know whatever the fuck. And Arthur stopped her from doing that. And so maybe he didn't have that ability or spell implanted in those wraiths that he does in these ones. But then again, why wouldn't he if he do it in... I don't know. But it seemed to me, based off of her trying to hurry up and get back, that maybe he didn't have anything planted to where he could see what was going on. So maybe he doesn't know about Arthur, all of his abilities. I don't know. But yeah, man, this is cool. This is a cool chapter. This is a cool chapter. I like this chapter. But that's about it. That's about it for this chapter. So here's what I want to tell you before everybody leaves. Okay, so what I want to do going forward, because I want to be a little bit more consistent. Okay, so I want to try to have. So I got the Discord set up. I want to try to have at least like a discussion. We can kind of have like a discussion on Discord like every 2 weeks. And it can probably be either on, I don't know. See, I don't know what day. It could be Monday, it could be Saturday, it could be Sunday. I've been standing up on football, so maybe it won't be Sunday. Or I guess it could be Sunday, and I can just try to do it like later, around like 7 or something like that. But I want to have a discussion like every 2 weeks and have it consistently. We just talk about the chapter or any theories or whatever people would think about it or whatever. And so that way everybody knows, like if it's like a consistent time, everybody kind of knows what, when to show up and, try to be more consistent to get more people involved with the conversation. So I want to start doing that. I don't know how to have a permanent link because as far as I know, the Discord link expires after like 7 days. So I don't know how to have like a permanent link. Maybe you got to pay for it. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I want to have like consistent conversations about the chapter. We can kind of give thoughts and shit like that or whatever. And then the reason they be 2 weeks is because, I have a couple chapters go by. So that way we kind of like, build up a little bit more to talk about. But yeah, that's what I want to do. So hopefully that's cool. But let me see one more comment before I get out of here with Billy. The Wraiths seem to have the curse that the director had, and Uto does. So wait, Uto. So does he have a curse on Ceres? Oh, so wait, Uto had a curse? Yeah. Cause didn't Uto like explode or some shit like that with the spikes inside when they had him in prison? And I think it killed that other dwarf. I forget his fucking name. But it killed the dwarf. And the dwarf actually got killed too because the dwarf had a curse. So yeah, all these motherfuckers got curses and spells and shit that stops them from revealing anything. If Ceres does have one, though, I will say this, Billy. If Ceres does have one, you would think that she would find a way to get rid of it. I mean, think about how crafty she is with making that shield, right? Using, what the fuck is that sovereign's name? Orloth. Using his mana and shit, making that shield. Think about the trap that she had made for Orloth, right? In order to get his mana and shit. Think about that. So she's crafty with like magic and mana and stuff like that. So I would think that if she did have some sort of curse, she would have found a way to get rid of it. And she probably found a way to get rid of it without Agrona knowing. Or maybe she got rid of it just recently, after she decided to, defect. So my bet would be that if she did have a curse, which she probably did, that she found a way to get rid of it because of how extensively knowledgeable she is with mana. That's what I think. But what's up, Lebo? What up, though? But yeah. So like I said before, that's what I want to do. Want to start having a conversation on Discord every 2 weeks, and have it be more consistent. I'm thinking it'll probably be around somewhere between 7 and 8 Eastern time is what I'm thinking. And as far as day goes, it could be Sunday, it could be Monday. I don't really know. I don't know what day is like the best day to do it, but I'll figure it out. But that way we have something consistent and be able to, know what, have everybody show up and know what time to expect it and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, but it'd be cool to have a conversation about the chapter and shit, give theories and whatnot. But yeah, but that's really about it for this chapter, man. I appreciate everybody joining in. I appreciate the likes. Gotta have some likes and shit so that way we can keep the algorithm going and recommend the videos and try to grow the channel because channel's been stagnant. Although I probably need to produce some more content talking about some different stuff. But that's for the future. I'm gonna figure some shit out though. I am, because I want to talk about some more stuff. I really want to start like reviewing some things like live, like reacting to certain stories and certain stuff. I know I keep talking about this shit and I haven't done anything yet, but I will though. I will for sure. But I'm thinking about copyright and shit like that, so I'm not really sure. But I got like the story recommendations and things like that, so I got that. So I'm gonna figure something out. But I appreciate y'all joining in, man. Y'all have a good night. I'm about to end the day for me. It's been a long day. More driving tomorrow. Gotta watch the football games tomorrow. And y'all peace out.